Welcome back to the Olmstead Workshop. Today we're going to take a look at how you can make your own cafe style sideboard.
Here we begin with a 1x4 I picked up at my local home center. I'm cutting this down into rough lengths for what will eventually become the legs of my sign. For the one I'm deciding to make today, the leg length is going to be 3.5 feet. I need 4 of these legs, and then for the stretchers I used some scrap 1x2s I had, and I cut them down to 23.5 inches since I was going to be using a 1/4 inch dado to hold on to the chalkboard. And my chalkboard is going to be 3 feet by 2 feet. Next we take those 1x4s that we cut into our leg length and we're going to rip them straight down the middle to create some 1x2s. That way I'll get 4 legs out of just one board. Next we set our blade depth for the dados that we're going to cut into the leg stretchers. For this piece I'm only doing a 1/4 inch depth using this Craig setup block. Here I'm cutting the dados into my pieces. I did have to move my fence slightly to overlap them a bit since my chalkboard was just shy of about a 1/4 inch thick. Here I'm cutting my chalkboard material. It comes in a 2 foot by 4 foot section, so I did need 2 of them that I trimmed to 2 by 3. For the stretchers I just used the Craig pocket hole jig to drill a couple of holes. These were narrow boards, so I did have to be careful to make sure I had it centered and square. Now that I had all my pieces cut to size and the dado cuts for the chalkboard to slide into place, I gave it a light stain of Minwax dark walnut. I did want this to be rustic looking, so I did just do a single coat of stain, and once it was dried I did a few coats of spray lacquer. Once everything was dry, I slid the chalkboard into place and secured the stretchers with some pocket hole screws. At this point I had 2 individual signs, so I used some hinges and a self-centering drill bit to drill some pilot holes, and making sure I used a speed square to keep everything nice and plumb. Once I had one side connected with both hinges, I then used it to line up the second board and pre-drill the hinge and screw them into place. Now that I had a sign that could stand under its own power, I measured down both sides of the leg and pre-drilled a hole so I could attach a screw and a chain so the legs wouldn't extend too far and make it unstable. With a chain attached on both sides, this project was done. So thank you once again for stopping by the Olmstead Workshop, and we hope to see you again next time.